Amar, what's going on, bro? All good, all good. Just recovering, bro. Getting better. Yeah, what's up with you? You good? All right, cool. Give me a sec.
Hey, what's good, bro?
I'm good, Amar. How's it going, man?
Yeah, it's good, bro. What about you, bro?
Yo, this thing kicked my ass. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice and stuff, but I'm pretty sure it was some kind of, some kind of COVID or some stuff, because that shit was tough, bro.
Yeah,
But
bro. Like I personally believe that being not fully healthy is one of the worst state a human can be, right? So like, whenever I am sick, I don't even get out of my bed because of the worst situation.
yeah, bro. Yeah, I had to kind of,
Can feel.
I had to lay out for a little bit, just, make sure that I kicked that shit out of my system. But, I'm not 100% yet, but I'm getting there, slowly but surely.
And you said that you were literally traveling while being sick, bro. That's literally even worse, in my
Yo,
opinion.
exactly. Yeah, it's because it takes a lot out of you, it takes a lot out of your energy, because that's all you can think of. That's all that's on your mind. And the more, I'm feeling a little better, but then bam, it hits me. But I'm good, I'm good now.
Yeah, appreciate it, dude. Hope you be good even in the future.
Yeah, definitely. So what about you? What are you up to?
Yeah, and I just added two new projects on my GitHub, and I'm gonna start with data science and deep maths soon, so I could learn machine learning. And by the way, I'm gonna launch my product within like 1 or 1.5 years. Yeah, really gonna like we might even go big, inshallah.
All right, yeah, that's good. Okay, a year and a half, so 18 months or so. That's pretty good. And I guess you figured out. Remember what we talked about, right? You figured out the cost for the prototype,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I figured out everything. I figured out where to place the hardware, like the extra stuff like mic and a speaker and a Raspberry Pi. I figured out where to place it on the, I mean, on the glasses. What sort of base for the glasses I'm gonna use, what sort of lenses I'm gonna use. I figured out every single thing. I figured out what is going to be the cost per unit.
right.
I have figured, yeah, so I figured every single thing. And when we'll start making it, I will just reserve, like before making it, I'll reserve a month doing deep research
Hmm.
for it, and then we will start making it, inshallah, and we will sell it, inshallah.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
because after we talked, I did a little bit of research on Edith, the whole wave and what exactly where the tech is going. Definitely the because how old are you now? You're 18, 19, right?
no, bro, I am 15 right now.
15, right? So you're kind of young, so you didn't even experience Google Google Glass. I'm sure
Yeah, yeah,
you've
I
seen
haven't, I
videos
haven't.
of it,
Yeah,
but when it came out, it was so obtrusive. It was way too present. You know what I mean? And a lot of people got basically into fights because of Google Glass, because of privacy concerns, and it made you look like a cyborg. So people didn't really like seeing people wearing them because you don't know when it's recording or when it's for stuff like that. But
yeah,
people are more
yeah.
people are more accepting now. You know.
Let me tell you something. Okay, so I like the issue that you just addressed about privacy concerns.
Hmm.
Like with my partner, whom I discussed the ideas and the execution with, I literally, talked with on this particular topic about him within, for an hour, and
Hmm.
like we discussed that how do we exactly. First of all, let me tell you something.
Hmm.
There's nothing as privacy concerns in glasses. You know why? Because
Why?
the thing is that most people don't understand how glasses work or how are they built. Like so, first of all, like it's an AI within it. It has capabilities like showing you the arrow for the GPS navigation. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, of
And
course.
of course in the advanced versions I'm gonna add a lot more features like like the AI can access your WhatsApp. I mean, not like directly access your WhatsApp, but if you tell that, hey AI,
Hmm.
send message to my NDO on WhatsApp that I'm gonna call you back in 10 minutes, and it will send it. So that's the sort of features that I'm gonna later on add, like after I get some sales and after I make some profit from it, like with a version after, like this will be like version 2 or 3 of my glasses. Yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
trying to say.
Right.
And before that, I mean, of course, in the version 1 there are not going to be very fancy features, but yeah, still we are going to make it cool and make it actually useful for people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the functionality. I mean, it's just I guess basic features, just like a HUD, right? It's a heads-up display. So to display your private information, and there's also a privacy for you as well, because what you see, nobody else will see anyway, because this screen and a proximity to your ocular, to your vision, basically, as just for you to see whether it's navigating a new city, you know what I mean, for maps, or reading your messages, or watching something, or even play a game, at some point. This is all your kind of like in your own little bubble. But then the component with the camera facing out, um, also, that privacy concern is not I don't know what the laws are around the world, but I know in America, when the when you're in public, right? There's no expectation of privacy in public. That means you could record anything your eyes can see. But if you're inside the walls of an establishment or or a private domicile, then you have to disclose if you're recording. You know what I mean? But if you're outside, nobody nobody's expect to be protected. You don't want to be seen, then don't go in public. If that's how it is in America, I don't know how it is everywhere else. Do you know what I mean?
So, okay, so what you're basically saying that uh, I should take care before launching my product, right?
Yes, and especially you've heard of GDPR, right?
No.
Okay, so let me put it on the screen for you. So especially if you want to release your if you want to release your uh, any sort of product, whether it's whether it's an Edith like type of project, whether it's anything related to user data, you have to be GDPR compliant. If you're looking at the screen right now, you'll see the GDPR, a General Data Protection Regulation, okay, is a European Union law focused on data protection and privacy for individuals within the EU and the EEA. It sets rules for how organizations handle personal data, granting individuals more control over their information. The GDPR came into effect on May 25th, 2018, okay, replacing the 1995 data protection directives. So basically, for instance, my apps, right, or my whatever website, any sort of SaaS, if you release it in the European Union, if you have users in the European Union, you have to be GDPR compliant. That means user data. If they request for you to delete their data, you have 30 days to respond. And if you don't respond, there are very hefty fines. They could sue you, they could take you to court, and it could shut you down in certain countries in the European Union or the European Union altogether. They could just shut you out. They've sued Apple, they've sued Google over these concerns. So there's one thing to look into. You have some time because you're not going to release now anyway. So you have some time to actually research um, GDPR.
Okay. So,
Okay. Okay.
okay. Like Google Glasses failed widely because of the privacy concerns, right? So I personally have I know that what should I do? Okay, let me tell you what am I gonna do, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like I have two, three methods of avoiding this. First of all, I might add a physical indicator light. So like if a mic that like if the mic is on, it
Mm-hmm.
will indicate a red light in my sort of glasses. And if the camera of the glasses is on, it will glow a blue light within it. So that's how it works. If it like when the camera is active, it will show a blue light to a certain part of the glasses. If the
Mm-hmm.
mic is on, red, and if something else is on, it will glow some other color of the light. Right? That's what I'm trying to say, right? So that will build the trust instantly because people will know that when the camera is on, when the red like I mean when the mic is on, or like when the location tracker is on, and all that stuff. And we also have other like like I have discussed. Can you hear me properly? I mean,
Yeah, I can hear you.
actually, my internet went down for a second. Okay, so we
Okay.
have more alternatives as well, like no background recording,
Mm-hmm.
unless approved. I mean, yeah, like mic will be only be activated when the word like when we trigger it with the word. So like if we
Mm-hmm.
want to call or want to chat with the AI, let's say if I for example, if I name the AI Edith, right? It's an example. Of course, I'm not gonna name it that,
Of
but it's an
course.
example. If I
Mm-hmm.
say, yeah, so if I say, hey Edith, only at that time my mic will be on, right? So
Yeah, for
without that,
sure.
my
It's
mic is not on.
yeah, it's kind of
So
like
these are the alternate.
it's kind of like
Yeah.
hey Google, that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, and like for example, camera, right? So it should like the camera could require a physical input, like pressing a button, and only after that the camera will be on. So we have alternative methods to be, like avoid the privacy issues.
Hmm. No, yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely hear you. No, definitely, because if you have a, I mean, it's kind of like standard practice. Same thing, whether you on a studio camera or GoPro or a consumer camera. When you press record, there's what we call a pilot light or a confidence light. Whenever you press record,
exactly.
that's why they put them. And if you want a studio with multiple cameras, where let's say you're reading the news, and of course you have the director in your ear when he says, "Okay, camera one," and then if it says camera three and the camera three is to your left, to turn to camera left, but also not just the audio cue, you also have the light on top of the camera to let you know, okay, this camera is working. So it's the same
Exactly.
concept. Yeah, so that is definitely something that you have to do anyway, unless you're a spy and you don't want to be seen, being, recording people without their knowledge.
Let me
But
tell you. Okay,
you know what I mean?
okay. I don't want to interrupt you, but like you just said, unless you're a spy, unless you are a member of CIA or an intelligence agency.
Exactly. But for such use cases, well, yeah, you people are going to be responsible for their own, I guess their own use case. If you want to use it
Exactly.
as a spy device, well, that's up to you. But then you're not liable because you give all access to make sure that they are compliant. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you still have to be careful that um, you don't violate the laws. Let's say privacy protection laws. You still have to have a clear GDPR compliant. And if you ask any um, AI as coding assistant, it will tell you. It will give you a breakdown and for GDPR compliance, how you should implement it and why you should implement it. And even though you implement um, all the tech sort of cues to make sure people don't abuse the GDPR, right? The user's rights, you still have to have that in place, regardless. Okay, it still has to be one portion of the and even on your website, right? Even on your let's say your landing page, your website, all your how on a website you have privacy policy and you have terms of service,
Exactly.
right?
Okay, so
So
yeah,
now
so
you,
exactly that what I was thinking. I was
mm,
thinking that I should either like sort of record a video of myself, a 1 minute video saying that yeah, like talking about the features of my glasses, that yeah, it works offline. It
mm,
only records when mic or the word like hey edit is triggered, or else the mic doesn't work and it doesn't upload anything without your consent. So that's
yep,
just like these are the things we will add into our privacy policy, our
mm,
website when we sell them. Yeah, so the point is I have already discussed and like already have I'm like already mindful of what security features I'm gonna add. And trust
mm,
me, they're going to be very, very secure and very, very private. Trust me.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
And we
Because yeah, it's one important component when it comes to doing things of this sort. It's not going to be just a regular app. This is something that's going to be used with potentially, yeah, who knows, potentially all over the world. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure you protect you protect yourself and you protect your intellectual property and you protect users. Um, what do you call it? Users' privacy. Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
you got plenty of time to work that out because you're not gonna be going into production uh, soon. I mean, you're talking about 12 to 18 months, right?
Yeah, after that, I'm gonna start with production.
That's good. Yeah. And yeah, so you were saying uh, AI and machine learning. So how
Yeah.
far have you started these courses yet, or are you just kind of doing your research right now?
So actually, the thing is that in within like next 40 days, I'm gonna start with machine learning,
Hmm.
and before that, I will get my foundations clear. The foundations of machine learning require deep understanding in mathematics and like I mean, of course, good understanding of programming as well. So
Hmm.
I'm just getting my hand dirty with maths and programming, and like of course, it will need data science as well, basic data science at least. So I'm gonna learn Python libraries that are required for handling data, like
Hmm.
Python libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and
Right.
uh, yeah, so
TensorFlow,
Matplotlib.
TensorFlow.
Airflow is a it's a library for deep learning. Okay, like
Mm,
before I'm gonna learn, like before anything, like before machine learning, I'm gonna learn data handling and mathematics in the next 40 days, and
mm,
then I will start with machine learning, and like I will keep up to machine learning until 4 months of like taking the course, making notes, making projects, posting them on GitHub, a little bit of networking. Then after 4 months, that would be like, I mean, December
mm-hmm.
2025, right? So in that time, I will start applying for paid, remote. You know what remote is? It's like online, pure online. You know
That's
what is
pr-
remote?
of course. Of course, I know what remote is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
no,
that's good.
I'm
So
talking
you're
about
gonna
the
be
online thing, like that.
right. So basically, is this a course that's offered by your school, or are you just gonna do it from, let's say, MIT or any of these remote courses?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Andrew one, which is the Stanford one. And like you just said that that is the course by my school, right?
Mm-hmm.
My school literally teaches, like I'm in like almost in 10th grade right now, okay? And
Right.
like they teach us about, like in 10th grade, they're teaching us about like CRT and like CRT monitors,
Mm-hmm.
and ball, a ball mouse. I don't remember, it was something like that, but ball pointer mouse, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff from 1998, where the printers,
Yeah.
non-impact printers.
Yeah.
They're teaching us stuff like this, and then they expect Pakistan to produce computer scientists and mathematicians. How the hell is it possible? Right, so
Yeah.
education in America is way better than, like, 1,000 times better than education in Pakistan, because like I remember when my grade final exams were going on, teachers, the invigilators who were invigilating us during the exams were
Mm-hmm.
literally taking money from us, like money from us, then and giving us phones literally in the exam. Can you believe this?
Really? That
Can
that
you
is
believe
so
this, bro?
that's so corrupt.
Exactly. Like they were saying that give me $1 or two and we will give you the phone and you can just Google the answers to the question or something like that. Like I just thought that where this system is going to take me if I'm serious about this and studies
Yeah.
and all of that. Yeah, of course I will study because I'm curious about science and math, but I won't. I'm really not interested in studying about bullshit ass stuff for like like textbooks and stuff like that. Fake stories. history, stuff like that. I'm because I want to be an entrepreneur in future, right? So I gotta do nothing with history and Pakistan studies. It's a subject.
Yeah, and I guess it's for a lot of a lot of countries, I guess outside of America or Europe, mostly America, the the education system, and then mind you, that happens in America as well. Where the education system lags behind what's the trends, because what ends up happening is before they catch up to new technology, they have to go through the education board. They have to upgrade the curriculum. And a lot of these professors and the people who are in charge of these departments, they don't understand. They're too old to stay ahead of the trend. So they're still trying to teach you COBOL. They're still trying to teach you C++. I'm not saying that that's completely useless, okay? Because there are still applications out there running on such code, but at the same time, there are very far and few and far between. And what ends up happening, you catching up with the rest of the world. For instance, America and now China, because China is a huge player in the AI field. So when you understand that you learning these languages is going to hold you back, so you can't even catch up to guys who are now, let's say, doing things at OpenAI or in China like DeepSeek and a lot, Manus AI. I mean, these tools are quite advanced. And within a couple of years, you won't even need to code manually because that's how good it's going to get. You see? So the best thing to do is what you're trying to do now is learn machine learning, okay?
Exactly.
Learn about AI, learn about the next wave, learn about what's happening now. It's going to be child's play in a couple of years, okay? What's happening now is nothing compared to what's coming. So, if your parents support you, yes, take these courses online, remotely if that's something that you can do, you know what I mean? Because otherwise, it is a waste of time. So don't waste your time. I'm glad you're doing you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, bro. Like, like instead of just like studying for 12 hours every single day, studying those old subjects that have to do nothing in with my future, I will rather study what is gonna make my future flourishing.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. You know what I mean? Keep going, because the future is. Let me tell you, the future is already here. Okay, people are talking about the future. Yes, your future as a as an entrepreneur, because you're still young, right? But your future is bright, so you got to keep that in mind, and you have to keep learning um, the trends and the technology that's going to take you further, because now by the time you enter the job market, let's say you launch by the time you launch your project, all right, you'll be 16, almost 17, right? So the next, let's say, 3 years, I don't know, when do you in Pakistan, what's the legal age? Is it 18 or 21?
Legal age for like what? It depends on the task. Like, what if you're talking about voting, then most probably 18 years old. But of
Okay.
course, it varies. Like if you're going to get uh, what is that called, bro? NIC.
Hmm.
NIC is National Identity Card. You get that after 18 as well. So in most cases, it's 18. You get a credit card after 18 as well.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that means, in 3 years, okay, you got
Yeah.
3 years to learn as much as possible. And now it's so easy. It's so easy to
Yep.
use,
Yep.
remote learning and even AI. If you don't understand anything, just ask. Perplexity or ChatGPT or any other AI, chat, and some things they would take a whole semester to teach you.
Yeah.
You can learn it in a week, and then do something with it. It's not just theory. It's not learning about the history of of who did what. This
Okay.
These are
Can I ask you
tangible. You know
something?
what I
Can
mean?
I
These.
ask you something?
Mhm.
I mean, like, if you're comfortable with telling this, then you can tell this. But if you're not comfortable, then you can skip this question.
Sure.
How much do you make in a month?
Well, yeah. This is kind of stuff like that. I don't. Yeah, you're right. I don't really discuss online because it's
Yeah. Okay. It's no
yeah,
problem.
exactly. Right. But that's kind of like besides the point, because what you make in a month, w- it will vary, but also it will depend on your lifestyle and where you live. I mean, for some people could live with $5,000 a month. Some people could live with $10,000 a month. Some people they cannot live without $100,000 a month because of the lifestyle. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
the type of
Absolutely.
person, you need a private jet. You have a private jet. You have 6 cars. You have a mansion. You have staff. You have security. Then of course your lifestyle and the amount of money you spend in a month is going to be crazy. But that's not my lifestyle. But I'm okay. I'm comfortable. Just put it this way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Of course. Of
So
course. Of course.
but don't worry. You're gonna make some money when you start putting your stuff out there, and make sure you solve a real problem. Make sure you create something that is revolutionary. Make sure you create tech or whatever it is, whether it's software, whether it's hardware. In tech, you'll see a lot of people just be becoming millionaires and billionaires really, really quickly, as long as you leverage your knowledge properly and then you solve a real problem.
Well, I'm gonna a little bit object your, the claim or the statement you just gave about the people being billionaires really quickly.
Mm.
To be honest, I think at least like behind every single overnight success, there is a 10 years of struggle. You know that, right?
Oh, of course, of course.
Yeah, so
But
that's what I'm trying to say.
yes, but also be one thing to remember. Yes, there is. Um, let me correct that for a second. All right, 10 years of struggle. There is potentially 10 years of struggle. Okay, and here's why I'm
Yeah.
saying this. Potentially 10 years of struggle because of the way things were done up until a few years ago. And the reason being, if you were to put a startup together, let's say just 5 years ago, let's say 10 years ago, right? You literally
Yeah.
had to have a team, okay, to do. You had to have, a tech co-founder. You had to have a CEO. You had to have, and it depends on the complexity of the project. You had to have multiple coders, multiple programmers. You had to have a front end guy. You had to have so many moving parts where it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it takes
Absolutely.
so long to get things done and it's very expensive. So unless you had backing or you were a programmer yourself and you find yourself with maybe a friend or two to bootstrap and say and eat peanut butter sandwiches or instant noodles, then you could kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You could kind of make it happen, and a lot of guys ended up doing that. But nowadays, you could actually you could actually make something happen within months. It doesn't really have to take 10 years anymore. So there's that possibility
Yeah. You're
possibility
right.
now. You know what I mean? To do that exponentially faster.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right, bro. Like, of course, like AI tools, the internet have increased the amount of entrepreneurship and decreased the amount of time it takes a person to be a wealthy person. Again, I'm not gonna completely I mean uh, I'm not neither gonna completely disagree with you nor gonna completely agree with you, because again,
Mm-hmm.
you can become a billionaire within months, right? You just say you can become in months. No, I mean, like, in my opinion, you can. Of course, everyone has different opinions, and we have to respect everyone's opinion. But again, my opinion is going to be only one. I mean, not only one, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
my opinion is at like, is it, it's like, it's still going to take years if you want to be a billionaire, right? Yes, you can make a lot of money in a few months if you really do make something revolutionary. Yes, you can make a lot of money, like $15,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $100,000 a month. But again, reach to a certain level like a billion, you have to spend years, not months. That's my opinion, and of course I respect your opinion as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not completely disagree with you as well. Of course, what you are saying could be potentially true in the next few years. For now, it's, in my opinion, no. Like, you cannot be a billionaire just right away in months, right? You still gotta take years.
All right. Do this. Um, how how many let's say how many people would it take to let's say purchase a piece of tech at let's do something really conservative. Let's say $100,
Yeah,
right? $100.
yeah, okay.
How many people would it take to buy one item at $100 to make 1 billion? It's a very simple math.
It's going to take potentially around I mean okay, 10 million.
10 million people, right?
Yeah.
All right. So 10 million people, $100 each. That give you 1 billion. Now let's say you price it because it's going to cost you 100, 150, like we discussed last time. So you're definitely not going to sell it for 100. Let's say you 2x it, right? That means now you sell it for $200. So how many people is it going to take now?
It's going to take exactly half of it, which is
Yeah,
5
exactly. So
million.
5 million. Okay. So let's say now you up the price to 300. You see where the math is going?
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So to actually make $1 billion nowadays, uh, again, I'm not trying to negate your point, but I'm just trying to illustrate just a simple math equation. I'm just trying to illustrate for you to see how people are making that type of money uh, on a scale that is not, it's not yet the norm. You see what I'm saying? It's not the fact that a couple of guys you know uh, are making a lot of money online, and then you're gonna do the same. No, that's not the case at all. What I said is potentially. Okay, it doesn't mean you will launch, in a year and a half or 2 years, and all of a sudden you're gonna become a billionaire. No, 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 no. There's
Of
there's a
course not,
path.
bro.
You know what I mean? There's a path to that. That means it can happen
Yeah,
or it could
yeah, bro.
not happen. It could take you a year to reach that billion. It could take you 3 years. It could take you 10 years. But now, more than ever, it'll take you less time to reach a billion than it did 10, 15, 20 years ago. Look at Jeff Bezos. You know how much time it took him to become a billionaire?
Bro,
It took him a long time. It took him 20
no,
plus years. You see what I'm saying? But now,
yeah,
because
yeah,
of
bro.
yeah, because of the internet, because of the way things are going, because of AI, it'll take you way less time to become a billionaire than it took somebody, like Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs or these guys, because
Oh,
that's
yeah, yeah,
you know
obviously, bro.
Mm. But
Of
hey,
course, like
man.
my long-term startup,
Hmm.
uh, actually, your voice is lagging a lot. Can you speak?
Can you hear me? Is the volume low?
Okay,
Because
so yeah,
my volume is pretty high here. Can you
can
can
hear
you?
you.
Maybe it's the connection. 1 2 1 2. Can you hear
Actually,
me?
it's my internet problem, I guess.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just talk. So basically, the point is my like the startup I'm gonna make, right? The glasses thing. I don't want like yeah, if it reaches $1 billion valuation, obviously I don't have any problem with that. But of course, uh, I'm not expecting it to reach at that level because it's not easy at all, right? So if it's making me around $100,000 a month, of course I don't have any problem with that. Do think about it. If I'm selling selling a unit for $300 or $250,
Hmm.
and I'm getting around 1,000 sales every single month, of course why would I have problem with that much money that I'm making? Of course that is going to be, especially if you live in Pakistan where currency is low, you are literally gonna be like one of the richest men in Pakistan if you're studying. I mean, earning that much. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm. Right. Okay. I
Yeah, so that's a
definitely get. Yeah, I get your point. So here's the thing, right? Um, give me a second. After the right. So uh, here's the thing, right? One thing you gotta keep in mind. You cannot know what you don't know. This one of my psychology professors told me that you cannot know what you don't know. And what he meant by that, okay, is the fact that uh, your your environment kind of dictates what you can conceptualize and visualize. Also, um, also at your age, right? You have a view of the world. You have a vision of the world, but also the world that you have the clear vision of is your immediate environment. Okay, and of course, I understand the standard of living, the cost of living is probably way lower in Pakistan than it is, let's say, in New York City or Tokyo or London, right? Um,
yeah.
so for so to I'm pretty sure at your age, if you were making $2,000 a month right now, that would be awesome, right? But if you know what I mean, but if you were to live, and let's say if you were 30 years old, if you were double your age right now, and you lived in New York or Tokyo, that you couldn't survive on that because that's the environment, the cost of living. That mean to rent an apartment, even if you were, let's say you're still in your 30s and you're still single. That means you don't have any dependents. You don't have a wife. You don't have children. It would still be very hard for you to live off of 35,000 dollars a month in New York City. You'd be poor. You see.
Yeah, yeah,
So right.
absolutely.
So when you start experiencing the world out there, when you start experiencing real wealth and real, a different view of the world, then I hope, right, one day when you look back, or when you remember this conversation we're having right now, you'll remember what I'm telling you right now. Um, and
Okay.
if you can do some research on limiting belief. Okay, limiting belief, it's a real thing, because limiting belief will put you in a situation where you think, oh, this is as good as it's going to get. This is how it is. This is how much I can achieve, and then this is how it is. And it's kind of like the caste system in India, right? Where you're
Yeah,
born,
yeah.
right? You're born into a caste system. This is it. This is your karma. This is where you're gonna live. You can't even you can't even marry a girl who's not in your caste. The parents will unequivocally says, no, he's a bum. He's in the lower caste. You cannot marry this guy because it's shameful on the family. And as you know, girls get killed for stuff like that, in that part, in certain parts of India. Not everywhere, but some small villages, people still think like that. So you see,
That happens mostly in rural
rural
areas of
areas,
India.
exactly. But in urban centers, yeah, people don't do stuff like that anymore. All that for me is to tell you, right? Uh, I
Yeah.
hope one day you remember this conversation we're having right now. Okay, limiting belief will put you
Inshallah.
in a
Inshallah.
situation where you think, well, yeah, there's no way. But if you open your mind, and if you put yourself in a position where you could literally see a path, literally visualize this, visualize, okay, visualize 1,000 people buying your product,
Yep,
then
yep.
visualize 10,000, okay, then visualize, let's say, 100,000 people. You know how 100,000 people, because a lot of people take it for granted. For instance, right now, my YouTube channel, right? It's a very small channel. It only has
Yep, yep.
300 subscribers. You know how many people that
Yep,
is?
yep, yep.
300 people. So
Yeah,
it
if they appear in front of you, you're gonna think how like there were a lot. If they appear in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, the thing is, when things like that happen, because a lot of us, our perceptions are skewed into thinking, well, if I don't have 1 million subscribers or 10 million views, and I'm nothing. But no, you can't view it that way. You got to look at it as, even if I had 3 subscribers, I would still be here. Even if I had, you know, even if I had, 1 million subscribers, I would still be here talking to you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't factor into how I see things. So your perception will dictate what happens. Let me get back to to the point. The point is, you will be able to make anything that you want happen as long as you believe that it can happen. As long as you visualize
Absolutely.
it, as long as you can see yourself, okay? As long as you can see yourself, let's say 3 years from now, 5 years from now, when you'll be 20 years old, or 6 years from now, when you'll be 21, as long as you can see yourself, okay, I'm 21 right now, and I'm on a flight, let's say to London, for a private meeting for a firm that wants to acquire my tech, and they offered me
Yep,
$40 billion for it. Just think about that for a
yep.
second, all right? Visualize that. You're 21 years old, and you want to basically, you're not even on a commercial flight, okay? They sent a jet to pick you up, and now you're on your
Oh my
way
God.
to London, okay, to sell your tech. In fact, that could be, take
Yep.
a sticky note or whatever, put it on your phone. Just write it somewhere, okay? You're 21 years old, okay? And you're on a private jet on your way to London to sell your tech to a big firm for $40 billion.
Yeah. I'm
Okay?
literally visualizing that. But let me just tell you something. In
Hmm.
my opinion, motivation Of course, manifestation is a good thing, but motivation, in my opinion, is like it's a drug. In my opinion, if you're just visualizing stuff without executing, I think you are just wasting your potential.
Oh,
If
of
you are
course.
taking action towards it, taking action towards it regularly with consistency, I think you're going to go big. That's my opinion.
No, definitely, definitely. Here's the thing, right? It's the same thing when people are uber religious and all they do is pray, right? And they expect results, right? So don't think that, well, just because you visualize it is going to happen. Even if you visualize it day and night, and then the tech is not there to be acquired by anybody, that goes without saying. Do you know what I mean? That goes without me
Yeah.
underlining the point three times in red. It goes without saying. Remember, what I said is visualize somebody's buying your tech in 6 years from now. But where's
Yeah.
the tech? If the tech is not there, there's nothing to, there's nothing's going to happen. So the tech has to be there to be acquired. Without it, and how is the tech going to get there? The tech is going to materialize not by some miracle. The tech is going to materialize by you executing, right? Executing your plan and make sure you
Exactly.
make it happen, and that's the only way. Otherwise, yes, you can
Yeah, and that's
visualize
my
all you
one of the
want.
biggest goals. That's my one of the biggest goals. Like I often see people saying that robots are evil, robots are bad. But to be honest, I have a deep interest in robots, and I want to make robots accessible to the world. That's my goal, right? So after like 8 years from now, I'm gonna open my company or startup that will uh, offer robots, and of course with time we are gonna make our company bigger, and someday my dream is to make something like Google and Microsoft,
Mm-hmm.
which offers robots, not just softwares, not just ad revenues, but something like robots, something like which are revolutionary, something like which can literally change the tech and the world forever, something like that.
Definitely. Hey, man, I believe in you. I know you're gonna make it happen because you're already taking the proper steps, right? You're taking the steps
Exactly.
to follow, to follow
Do you
your
exactly
path.
know?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Do you know that why am I trying to sell my glasses?
Why?
Uh, Basically, when I was watching the movie, I was wondering that, like, is the tech currently so bad that we can't even make such glasses? I was wondering that. And when I asked my research partner, he said that it's definitely possible. In fact, you could make a literal working prototype like MVP, So you can literally make that within 4 to 6 weeks. Right,
Hmm.
so that's what he told me. And after I did deep research on internet about it, I got to figure out that it's actually true. Yes, I can make a working prototype version 1, obviously not the version that like have that's gonna have advanced features, but still the 4 to 6 week one prototype is going to have good feature as well, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna market it, I'm gonna sell it globally, and with time we will keep improving it.
Hmm.
Like I was thinking, first of all, I was just thinking that I should make a glass, like a pair of glasses for myself only. But my partner told me that if you really could make such good glasses that could actually make an impact and could solve people's problem and could look cool, make people pay for it, then why don't you sell it? I was thinking like, yeah, bro, that makes sense actually. You're actually true. Like if I actually get good feedback, I can sell and make wealth from it. Why not? I was first of all thinking of just earning money from like AI ML internships and freelance and then remote jobs later.
Hmm.
But
Right.
Then I thought like I could be an entrepreneur literally right now. I don't need to wait to pass out of university to open my robotics company. I could literally make a hardware stuff right now in my room and sell it globally in the US and earn wealth from it. Why not? So that's what I thought. I thought critically for like a week, and
Mm-hmm.
I came to conclusion that I'm gonna to sell them anyhow and make, like do some innovation on my own terms and not wait for other people to innovate stuff so we could use it. Like just like Isaac Newton, right? So when like Newton didn't wait for math to be like to expand so that he could invent calculus. Instead, he just created his own rules. He just created his own maths.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, once you innovate, once you start innovating, it's going to get exponentially easier, right? To innovate, like I said, with the help of AI these days, there's so much more you can do in such a short amount of time that wasn't possible just a few years ago. So you have a lot of
Yeah.
advantages because of AI, and um, by implementing a lot of the things you're going to be learning, in machine learning and and training and stuff like that, it's going to be exponentially easier for you over the next year and a half. So definitely take advantage of that. You know what I mean? You got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, it absolutely. We'll take advantage of that, and we will try our best. And okay, so what are your thoughts on this idea? Like, what do you think about this idea, about the startup plans of about this? What are your honest thoughts on this? Want to hear it from you.
I think it's a good idea. Um, but as far as creating a piece of tech that you could literally um, sell right away, of course, it's going to take some tweaking. It's going to take some time. If you create an MVP and then let's say you have let's say 10 units, right? And
Yeah.
you have a demo unit that's always with you, or you have always a couple of demo units with you, and you have some units for, let's say, for influencers or whatnot, then it's highly feasible that you'll be able to do that immediately, as long as you have a prototype that's not too bulky. You know what I mean? Because to miniaturize, for instance, just the screen alone, to make sure you take care of something like the diopter, right? Um,
Yeah.
the diopter is going to determine, right, how depends if a person, let's say, wears prescription glasses or they wear contact lenses, right? They need to have a way to calibrate the screen so it's not out of focus, because not all of us see from the same distance. Not all of us see clearly from the same distance. So so you got to take all that into consideration. Whether what kind of lens you're gonna are you gonna use a prism? Are you gonna bounce the image into, sort of like a prism, and then you reverse it and then you invert it, and then you see the image? What the resolution is going to be? How are you going to integrate the tech that does all that within the band? How are you going to integrate the battery? And also weight distribution. Is the battery going to be integrated um, on both bands? If it's just on one side, then that side might be a little too heavy. You know what I mean? So all these things, in terms of your research and development, you got to figure these things out in terms of balance, in terms of ease of use, in terms of comfortability. Because remember, if you're gonna have this thing on your face, you don't want it to be
You
too
don't.
you don't want it to be too heavy. You don't want it to be too heavy
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is gonna chafe it. I don't
definitely.
wear glasses, but I know if I wear shades for too long, the back of my ears get a little, it gets a little sore. So
Yeah.
These are ergonomics. You got to look into that. You got to look into the balance. How is the tech going to be implemented? Again, like I said, battery implementation, whether it's going to be on both sides, that means you're going to split the power, right? One half of the battery, or if it's a two cell, whatever, four cell, two cell on each side, that type of stuff. So, but as far as getting it done, yes, you can get it done, but it's going to take a little bit of while to get it to market where you can actually sell it right away. Uh, unless you do a run where you just hand it out to influencers or to tech reviewers and stuff like that, and then you get the word out there. And crowdsourcing is another option. By crowdsourcing, now you can basically raise capital to actually build at scale without having to go to a VC. That means now you have to give out certain incentives to the early adopters. That means you can say, "Hey, I'm I'm gonna for the first let's say 10,000 units, everybody gets it at a certain price, and then after that, once it goes to market, everybody else will pay full price for it." That's my that's my idea. We got Gabriel in the chat. Gabe, how's it going, bro? I am
Yo,
back. I am back. I'm still not 100%, but I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. But
I see. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. How you doing?
difference. I'm doing well. I just stopped. I was driving.
Yeah.
Rest.
Are you still traveling?
No, 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 no. I just did a long travel today, but I'm not traveling.
Mm.
Just a long distance today, and I'm now resting
Oh,
to
cool.
go back to drive.
All right. Cool. 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 Yeah, man. Because listen, I think what I had is some kind of COVID variant because, bro, it hit me last time we spoke. I think probably a couple of days after that, it hit me. I was like, that doesn't feel right. And then last week, basically, I was in bed the whole week, bro. And I couldn't even, my eyes were just sensitive. I couldn't even look at the light. I couldn't do anything. So I was off everything. Everything was off. I was in bed, fluid. I
By
had to
the
take,
way,
I had to take some
and you
antibiotics and
you're
stuff. You know.
you're in a dark room right now, right? And you have lights all over you. I mean, the monitor lights. So, like, doesn't that hurt your eyes?
Yeah. Now it does, but that's why I wasn't, I wasn't even on my phone. I was on nothing for the whole week. But now this is why I'm not going to be here long today because I still have to rest a little bit. But I'm okay. I'm all right. Thanks for the thanks for your concern, Ahmad.
Yeah, thanks. No problem, bro.
Yeah. So Gabe,
Yeah,
yeah, we need to catch up, man.
yeah. Have you seen my sent you?
Yeah, I saw the message earlier. You said Thomas was
Yeah.
working on something, right?
What?
You said
No, no,
Thomas,
not that. Not
not
the
that.
last message.
Hey,
Oh, wait,
hey,
wait, wait.
uh, I gotta go. Okay, so we'll talk later. Okay, bye.
All right, okay, Amar. Thanks, bro. Thanks for stopping by.
Gabriel, bye, Gabriel.
Hey, Ronaldo. We got Ronaldo in the chat. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got Shakti. Give me a second, Gabriel. We got Shakti in the chat. Yeah, it's going good, man. I'm back. I've been sick and stuff, but I'm recuperating. So we are back, baby. Yeah. What's up with you? Are you good? And Ronaldo says, how much are you? Okay, I don't know, Ronaldo. Just explain that. I didn't get it. So yeah, Gabriel, last message you sent. Let me see. Okay, all right, nice. Okay, I think I found it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Front end Astro, back end Go, CMS Directus. Do you know Directus?
No.
It looks
I
awesome.
okay. I know about Go. I know about Astro, but Direct. I got to look into that. How did you
Yeah.
stumble onto that?
Have you ever worked with WordPress?
Yes, of course.
So it's similar, but in my point of view, it's way better because it allows you to work with way modern stack. Like you have Astro, you have React, Next.js. It allows you to work with all of that stack and not just
Hmm.
HTTPS, just like WordPress does. So if you need scalability and a more modern stack, you go with Directus. And also, Directus is awesome because it have two phases. It has the marketing phase and it has the developer phase. Developer phase is in the developer front is where you develop everything. You develop the menus that the marketer will see and every single thing for the website. So the marketer can customize the website without changing code, without the need to access the code and everything.
Yo. Okay.
And you can also create your own menu pages, configuration pages, and every single thing with Directus that you couldn't with WordPress.
Okay.
So
I'm checking them out right now.
it's just awesome, just awesome.
Okay. How did you find out about
Yeah,
these guys?
I was studying WordPress alternatives because I wanted to deliver modern websites to my clients and scalable websites. So it means that you can scale horizontally, not just vertically.
Right.
And WordPress can't do it. So I had to figure out some alternatives. And Payload CMS and Directus were the only alternatives I saw, at least the relevant ones. So you have Payload, CMS, and Directus. Well, I like Directus more because Payload CMS is more developer focused.
Right.
So you can still change stuff, but you will see the code and everything. Now with Directus, you code everything, but then to change, you don't need to code. Let's say you want to change
Nice.
you want to change a certain text or whatever.
Right, dude. Yeah,
And
because that's the thing that's the most frustrating with WordPress or Drupal or these CMS frameworks.
yeah,
To do simple things is very complicated. So I'm definitely gonna dive into this and check it out.
exactly. And it's more similar to Drupal, to be honest.
It's similar to
It's
Drupal.
more, yeah.
Uh,
Just way ahead.
way better.
Just way
Yeah,
ahead.
because I mean, Drupal and WordPress, they're kind of they're kind of old. They've been out there for a while, right? So I guess the code base is built on older technology. But what I'm seeing here for Directus, I see. Okay, I'm looking at the dashboard example, the calendar. This looks very modern.
Yeah, it's headless. They launched into 2014, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
okay.
They have 10 years, 11 years.
All right. I mean, shoot, there are so many tools out there that there's so many tools. This is dope. This is definitely dope. So, have you played with it already? Have you built anything with it yet?
Not yet, but I will because it's it seems that it is lightweight
Mm-hmm.
compared to WordPress. And dude, they even have planners. So if you want to plan social media posts or to plan like a blog post or whatever, you can.
Yo. Okay, I see.
They have,
Visualize, customize, extend. That's automate. It even has automation.
yeah. And it allows you as well SEO, analytics, and every single thing. It's just awesome. And whatever it doesn't have, you can create.
Nice. Yeah, right. Because you can create plugins, right? Kind of like.
Yeah. And compared to WordPress,
Mm,
Directus completely white label, so you can change the whole UI UX. You can make it to fit your brand
nice.
with your own brand. Yeah, your own logos, your own colors.
Nice, nice. So yeah, basically your brand color, you could basically customize. Yeah, white label everything. That's pretty dope. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna dig into that and read more about it. And I'm sure they have a YouTube channel. Let me see. Yep, they're on YouTube.
Yeah, they do have. I will experiment them today as well.
C-
Um,
Cool, cool.
Start creating a website for Vipanda. You know,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think the right approach will be with a modern tool because we're modern in everything. We pitch AI, so we need to be modern.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because there's no point. Even I don't know if you remember this tool. That's a tool that I used for a while. It's called Local. Uh,
Local with a K.
no, Local. Local. It was basically it's it's um it's an app that allows you to develop WordPress sites locally before you deploy them, and you can deploy directly
Oh,
to
yeah.
WordPress engine, WP engine.
Yeah, I heard about it. I heard
Yeah,
about it. So Direct also allows you to develop locally. It's nice. Because it's headless. So
right,
the stuff you develop is not directly connected to Directus. It's headless.
great. Yeah, I see that headless CMS, backend as a service, product info. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
And do you know Astro?
Astro, yes. I used them on a couple of projects.
Did you know that Astro is way flexible? It means that you can use any library from any stack, and it works with Astro.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. So that means Next.js. Okay, I see something here. Next. Okay, next Astro. Okay, no, these are all different
There's
frameworks.
there's a description I'm sending you. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best at performance. It's
Mm-hmm.
lightweight, just
All right.
fast in everything. Go is also fast. So we have a fast front end and a fast back end, and both together, just a
Okay.
Formula One.
Oh wow. Okay. So great for sales funnels and landing pages. You know what? I think I'm gonna build a freaking because I need a sales funnel for
Yeah.
uh, for something in that. Okay, it's a good find. So I'm definitely gonna mess around with that. See what's up with that. Okay, maximum conversion rate and SEO. And also framework agnostic. Okay, this is good. So that means you can use any framework, allowing developers to use favorite components from React, Svelte, Vue. Okay, within the same project, offering unparalleled flexibility for marketing sites, blogs, and landing pages. That is awesome.
That's everything. It can do everything. Every single
Yeah,
site.
it's like a Swiss Army knife, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ye-
And in
yeah.
top of that,
Mm,
in top of having all the solutions, it's also fast because it's zero GS.
there you go. Yeah, because again, you don't want to get penalized by Google. Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, because if your load time is too slow, yeah, Google's gonna be like, hey, what are you doing? Just then they're gonna push your stuff further
Exactly.
down the line, yeah, which is pretty good because yeah, speed is and not and also for your users, you don't want to frustrate your users because now people are so used to fast loading time, less than, let's say less than 10 milliseconds. People are used to that. If it takes more than that, people have no patience. They will just
So yeah,
yeah,
you,
go away.
you
That's
need
it. It was like, your shit is too slow. Yeah.
you need to be the fastest at everything, not just front end. It's it looks awesome if the page loads nice, but as soon as you do some interactions and it
Mm,
doesn't load fast, there is no point for the page solely to load fast. So both ends need to load fast, need to do fast things.
right.
That's why Go as a backend, because even for internal automations, internal scripts, it's awesome. It's the fastest for big data and
Mm,
everything. So when you match Go with Astro, you have the fastest of both ends.
exactly. Yeah.
Faster than Go, it's just Rust, and no one likes Rust.
Yeah. Because Russ is too. it's too too many hoops for a lot of people. I mean, I never mess with Rust. So, what about you? Have you used Rust before?
Not really.
Yeah,
I got and I never touched it.
yeah, because
People say, like, don't
there
even
were a few people who actually dug into Rust, but yeah, you got to be pretty hardcore to spend a lot of time learning that stuff.
so I'd rather have a language, a stack that is simple to understand. For example,
Mm,
Go, it's very simple to understand. If you know English, you can read Go basically,
exactly. Yeah.
and it's fast and everything. So same thing with Astro. It's you can easily understand what is in Astro, and it's fast, so it's perfectly balanced.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you have directors. So if you have a client and you creating a page for him, and you need him to post blogs and every single thing, then you can have the fastest performance in the world by having Go and Astro, and on top of that, you have directors for the client to use.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's all right. This is a really good find, bro. Really, really good find. So let's see. I can fetch data from directors with Svelte.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I see some code snippets right there. Hmm. npm install. Da, 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 da. Okay.
I'll containerize everything
Nice.
in a big compose.
Nice. 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 Okay. Yeah. Because I think I saw something about Docker here somewhere.
So something about Docker in where?
On the page on the directors. Yep. Okay. There it is. So directors. Da, 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 directors is an open source. All right. That's
Oh,
good.
by the way, they also do backends. Like
Mm.
you can create API routes with it,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't do it. I would just go with raw Go, for example,
Right.
and have it separated from directors. So directors would just be the face that the front where the client connects and can do stuff. That's it.
Right. Basically,
Not
just a UI. Right.
yeah.
Cool.
But this is also very cool.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay. Introducing. Da, 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 da. All right. Cool. Yeah. 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 That is
It
nice.
can connect to any database, Postgres, MySQL, Azure, SQLite. It can connect with anything.
Right.
MariaDB.
Right. Right. All right. Let's look at the licenses. So self-hosted and then cloud. Okay. For the cloud, the starter package is $15 a month. But anyway, we're gonna self-host, right?
Yeah.
And
Of course.
even that. Okay, one studio user included. Okay, 5,000 database entries, 50,000 API requests. I guess that's monthly.
Where do
Uh,
you, that's self-hosted? No, that's
uh,
cloud.
yeah, that's cloud. Yeah, yeah. I was looking at the cloud package. Professional package was $99 a month. All right, cool. Which is still not bad, but self-hosted.
Self-hosted. It's
Eh,
everything unlimited.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Like
no
WordPress.
payments on demand. Okay, but they do
It's
have.
like WordPress.
Hmm?
Self-host. It's like WordPress. You can self-host and everything unlimited, but then you need to manage your own server and stuff. Or you
Yeah,
can host it in clouds and pay for it.
yeah, exactly. But now, of course, this is another way for them to monetize it. Now I see on the self-hosted packages, you still have starter kit support, and you have premium support.
Yeah.
If if ever, you know what I mean. If ever you run into something that's really freaking crazy, then you could customer service manager, blah blah blah, advisory sessions, 24/7 support for critical issues. I'm sure it comes at a premium. Let's say how much it costs.
By the way, they have a sketchy license that I don't like because look at this. If you and your organization have less than 5 million in total annual income,
Mm.
revenue, and any funding, then you do not need to pay for self-hosting directors. This applies to all projects, including production and commercial projects. So as soon as you hit the 5 million, you'll be paying to self-host directors.
Oh, that's that's weird.
I I don't even know how they track that.
Well, they probably have a code. They probably have a code so they could track. I
I
think
don't know.
yeah,
Because people,
that would be kind of
there are people
invasive
that
though.
don't, there are people that don't sell through the website. It's physical businesses with a landing page posted in directors. Yeah,
Right.
I think I don't know what they do. I
Yeah,
think or they do
that's
or
sketchy.
something.
That's sketchy. I mean, I
They,
know
they
there's a company that does something similar. I believe it's a game engine. I think it's Unreal Engine, right?
Mhm.
They allow you to actually develop to develop your game like a 100% free. And it's not even the software, the game engine is not a trial. It's a full access, full-fledged uh, piece of software. And I believe you can actually publish your game. And I think before you hit something like $10 million, it's free. But if you, I don't quote me on that. I don't think it's 10 million, but I from what I remember, I think it is 10 million. But that's actually pretty cool because if the if the threshold is that high, right? That means you can actually make a pretty decent revenue stream before you actually have to pay them for a license.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's because it's so when you self-host, you are with a personal license, licensing under BSL 101. But as soon as you hit 5 million, you need to buy commercial license. It's
Uh-huh.
different.
There you go.
So they put that difference. Note, public data shows directors itself generated around 3 million in revenue, so they fall squarely into the commercial license category. Okay, directors doesn't list fixed fees for self-hosted commercial licenses. Typically, you need to reach out to their enterprise sales team for pricing tailored to your use case. Rest
Right.
of the right, yeah, it doesn't say how much it costs. Clouds, yeah, but it should be low, very low.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll because they can't hold you hostage because you've developed a product using their platform. Therefore, it'll give them clout also. Let's say the project is really successful. So that
Mhm.
means I'm pretty sure they're going to kind of use your use case as a marketing type of thing. I'm sure that's all in there. See now,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but
Mhm.
honestly, if it's a tool that allows us to have all our marketing team to be writing blog posts and every single thing
Mm.
and to drive sales, I would be okay with paying for anything if it helps us to achieve 5 million in revenue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because then it'll kind of pay for itself, right? So which would be really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so check it out. So Unreal Engine, the licensing. Yeah, I know I was way off. The licensing is under $1 million in revenue. It's free. It's not 10 million.
I,
Yeah, if you make less than a million. But if you once you get past that royalty, then you start paying. Regardless of okay, it'll be subject to a 5% royalty on revenue generated from sales. That means, yeah, I'm assuming it's 5% net, not gross, right?
yeah,
And you got to pay a license fee per seat. It's $1,500 per seat. If let's say if you have you know, a game studio, that means you got to pay $1,500 per seat per year. Okay.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Which again, if you're making, if you're raking in the millions, yeah, why not?
Yo, can you share the website I sent you, Payload?
Let's check it out.
Payload. It doesn't make fucking sense because they are their own CMS, and
Hmm.
in their website, they have Webalizer. You'll see that they're using Strapi,
Let's see.
which is another CMS.
Yeah, how's that? How does that make sense? Hang on,
I
let me
mean,
see.
right. I've
Payload.
seen businesses Strapi as well.
Uh-huh. Let's
Yeah, see
see.
which one is the best. So
Okay, the
of course,
back.
Directors is the best. Check between those. Which one is the
Right.
best?
Okay, payload. Oh yeah. I've seen payload. I think I've seen payload. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty slick. Meet the CMS from the future. Headless e-commerce enterprise app builder, digital asset management. Okay, that's pretty cool. Alrighty. Code first for developers, content first for marketers, the backend to build modern web. Oh, okay. NPX. Yeah, I think I've seen that before. I don't know if I've ever tried it, but yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, yeah, they're claiming that Payload is 3 times faster than Directors. Directors
Huh.
takes 45 milliseconds, while Payload takes 15 milliseconds
Huh.
on
Okay.
average.
Right, right. Enterprise headless CMS. Let me check it out. Yeah, interesting. So there are some contenders. So cool. So can we self-host this as well? Yep.
Yes, yes. They're all of them are open source.
Okay, yep. I see the GitHub here. Yep. Okay. Husky. Huh. Okay. Packages. Quick start. Before beginning to work with Payload, make sure you have all the required software. Phoenix create Payload app latest. Okay. Very nice. Okay.
Hmm.
And this is Strappy.
Yep.
Check out strappy.io. Okay, yeah, cool. Build modern website with most customizable headless CMS. All right, cool. Well, this looks pretty good too. I mean, yeah, I guess at this point, right? What's gonna win the race for us is the one with the most customizable sort of customizable stack, and I kind of
Yeah,
like the
we like.
agnostic feature of Directus. And you say the load time is what, 45 milliseconds?
Yeah.
Okay. And
They say the competitors say it's 45 milliseconds. I haven't
right.
tested it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Of course. Now it's gonna depend on the server as well. It's gonna depend on where we host it. Uh, a lot of it is gonna play a role onto how what affects the load. Where you hitting the server from, and again whether we maximize our whether it's minifying the code, images and stuff like that. There's so many things come into play, right? So, but this is pretty cool. All right, e-commerce, customization, hosting. Let's look at hosting. Okay, deploy with confidence from prototype to production. Host your projects on robust, secure servers in minutes with Strappy Cloud. Right. But of course, that doesn't concern us because we'll go self-hosting.
Hmm. Yeah, we need to see the best tech that allows a non-tech person to use it to post blogs and every single thing, make small changes in every single thing, while
Exactly.
we have the flexibility to do whatever we want and as
Exactly.
fast as possible.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we want.
Yeah. Definitely. So cool. So content management. Let's see what's going on here. Enjoy editing experiences, marketing teams. Yep. So that's Trappy. Okay, with a modern RTX, the rich text editor, uh, dynamic zones, user-friendly interface, manage media, publish to multiple locales. Okay, means publish to different accounts and automate tasks effortlessly, optimizing both content and SEO. I mean, they all sound good on, I guess, on paper. They all sound really good. Okay, all the features you need to manage your content. Yeah, fancy gloves for elegant. Yeah. Content history. Okay, block editor. Media library, cron jobs. Internalization, which is pretty good, for different languages and stuff. Cool. Yeah, Stripey looks clean, as clean as payload. Yeah, pretty good. Let's see, Directus. Let's go back. Oh, okay. Guess what?
Mhm. But
I already had an account at Directus. I think I had already signed up.
you have an account in Directus?
I think so.
How is it?
Because I think I had. I don't think I actually got around to use it, but I had actually gotten. But wait, it doesn't look familiar at all. Because I do remember. I do remember this one here. Not Strappy. Uh, 1 second. Oh no! My bad. That's not what it is. You know
What?
what? You know what it is? I'm in the demo. Okay, I remember payload. I'm in the demo of Directus. There's a demo
You
page
what?
there's a demo page
Yes.
for Directus. Yeah, yeah. So it
Yeah.
provides you with an email address and password, so you could just log in to test. That's what it was.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let me sign in. Yeah, it's the demo. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, I like that. I like what I'm seeing here. User directory, file library. Okay, insights, which is analytics. Very nice. Yeah, I'll definitely spend some time and take a look at that. Yeah, so Gabriel,
Yes.
Have you talked to the guys since then? The guys from remember the last meeting we had with what was his name? The guys with furlough.
Thomas?
Yes.
Oh, Ophir.
Ophir,
Ophir.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking to him right now. I'm messaging him.
All right, cool. Because we actually we had to do a follow up because I think the last message I sent you was yeah, we need to follow up with the requested. You remember we had to send him an agreement and stuff, right?
Yes.
So we need to work on that. And I know he said he was heading to Israel. I hope he's not in Israel because things are not cool over there right now.
Israel. He's from Israel, but he's in the US, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but remember during the conversation he said he was I think he was going to Miami and then he was going to Israel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just remember that.
Yeah, he said he was going to go to Israel. So I hope he's not there because it's things are kind of crazy right now.
Yeah. But I don't think he's in Israel. He said that he would, but I think everything happened before, so I don't think he's traveling there.
Yeah, good.
And he had family there, right?
He does have family there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, ask him.
When is it?
Yeah,
all right, man. So I'm going. What?
Where is he now?
I don't know. I'm talking to him in furlough in the chat. There was a guy that was saying that he was outreaching through Discord and he had 150 clients for his SMMA and he didn't have a website and anything he could show. They were saying he was bullshitting, and I wasn't defending him, but I said there are companies that run 100% offline, just like my agency that does it, because we don't care about inbound, we just care about outbound. But the way he's saying it is bullshitting, but there are agencies and companies that do it.
Yeah. Exactly, because a website is not is not a mark of legitimacy anymore. Because a lot of people just they don't see the value in building a website. They just use social media and different avenues. Maybe it's just a funnel, and a lot of people function like that. But I guess a website is always a good thing to have anyway. Hey, we got who do we have in the chat? Vish.
I'm gonna leave now.
You gotta go. All right,
I'm going to drive now.
All right, Gabriel. So let's let's catch up to strategize. All right.
Yeah.
And are you on WhatsApp?
Yeah, I am. Let me send you my number.
Okay, yeah, because that way, if we
don't click it. Don't click it in the stream.
No,
don't click it in the stream.
No, it's it's invisible now. Just saying it privately, then I'll because we don't want to get doxxed. We don't want to get bombarded with stupid messages.
I guess it's my personal number. I
All right.
don't like to, yeah, to receive a lot of messages in there.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That way, if we're not on Discord or whatever, so we can always communicate. Because I think we should have done that actually uh, a couple weeks ago. All right, bro. So go ahead, man. Do you think you're gonna be driving now?
Yes, I'm going to be driving for an hour, maybe,
Okay.
until I reach the destination, and then I'll be back on Discord, and maybe we can talk later again.
All right. Cool.
All right.
All right, bro. Hey,
All right.
yeah. Thanks for checking in. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you soon. Take
All
care.
right. Bye bye. Vish, what's going on, bro? Yeah, long time. I was under the weather. I was a little bit sick, but now I'm getting much better. So today I'm gonna keep it short because I'm not 100% yet. So I'm gonna be here for another 15 minutes. So thank you, Vish. Thank you for dropping in. And as usual, Don DeMarco for Vish. And Vish, if you're still there, you got to drop your brother a like. You know what to do. Smash the like button. And yeah, what's up with you? What you been working on? Yeah. All right, boys and girls. Vish. I guess Vish is gone. Well, all right, boys and girls. So we had a pretty decent conversation with Amar and Gabriel. Welcome back to the stream, guys. We are back. So I am gonna be here for another few minutes because I'm not feeling well. I'm just recuperating, and another 15 minutes I'll be out of here. So, guys, and thank you for everybody who reached out to the Discord. Some guys were worried because I was kind of quiet for the better part of a week and a couple of days. So, but I'm back. I'm well. I was under the weather, so to speak. So, but I'm well. Everything's going good. I'm recuperating. So I'll be back streaming regularly starting today. It was going to be a short session. Well, short in my world anyway. It's still going to be a couple of hours, but if you've been following for a while, I've pulled some long sessions, some 12 hours and some, 10 hours, 8 hours, that type of, crazy stuff. But now we're actually, the build process is pretty much done. So we are just shooting the breeze, just talking about AI, talking about, projects that different guys are working on. Amar is working on a very interesting project. Something that's akin to, Google Glass or Edith or, that type of stuff, augmented reality, heads up display, the HUD with different type of applications. And of course, front facing camera as well, where you could record your environment, identify certain objects and stuff like that. So I think it's a pretty interesting project that he is looking to put out there on the market. But mind you, he's still very young and ambitious. He's only 15 years old. and his goal is to, build solutions for real world problems. And I think he's got a shot at it because he wants to go into robotics as well, which is a field that's going to be very interesting in the next few years. 5 years from now, there's going to be a lot of automation, a lot of AI assisted robots or humanoids or cyborgs, whatever you want to call them. And I think he's on the right path. He can actually do good things and amazing things, whether it's medical applications, whether it's to assist the disabled, the hearing impaired, the visually impaired, the people with mobility issues. I think it could be pretty good. You know, uh, solve real problems with real solutions. Yeah. Anyway, stay tuned, guys. I think that's going to be it for me. I'm going to be getting out of here because I am a little bit tired still, but we are back to our regular uh, live streaming schedule. So tomorrow I'll be on around the same time. So stay tuned. So if you haven't joined the Discord server, here's the QR code and link is in the description. So hit your boy up. All right. And that being said, signing off. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out.